Alrighty. So, some of y'all wanted to know what I got done to the truck specifically. So, I made up a little list here of pretty much just the motor and transmission and the exhaust system, intake, yada yada. And other than that, I'll show you my wheel setup and all that. For the start of it, the block is a 1982 6.2 liter red block. And when I bought that there motor for $500, it came with a balanced crank. That was wonderful. So when I tore down the motor to do it up, I put in a set of head studs, and that costed like, I don't know, maybe $300 or $400, something like that. I put in thicker head gaskets, and this is the kind of the funny part. You buy like the head gasket set from Fraudster, and the head gaskets that are in it literally just look like they were, like cut out pieces of sheet metal, not even sheet metal, tinfoil with like ATV or RTV black silicone on it. And I was like, what the fuck? And some of it was like gone in places, and the fire ring was lifting off the head gasket, and I was just like, alright, well, fuck that. So I went and I bought the 10,000 sticker heads gaskets, and they are like a world of difference just in appearance alone. I recommend that there for just we'll say every build. Any motor that you're going to build, make sure you put those in there, and those are the Clevet or Male brand names, and they cost me like $60 for the both of them, and they come in singulars per pack, so you got to buy 2 packs. You get those on Rock Auto. So after that the cylinder heads that got put on it was from my 1993 599 block cylinder heads. So those are apparently better metallurgy, better casting. I installed diamond pre-cups. I also got the brand new Bosch injectors off of Quadstar. Also, she was a electronically injected truck. This used to be, one of those old drive-by-wire setups, so I went back to drive-by throttle cable, and I ripped out the fucking electronic injection pump, fired it onto the workbench, and then I went and took the nice shiny gold DB2 4911 turned up injection pump that has 0 degrees of timing so far. I left it on dead center just to see if it runs perfect, and it has, so I'm still gonna, probably work my way up instead of taking big increments. Yeah. And of course, you know that she's twin turbo, custom made by me with 2 HX35W turbos. And that's just some good old eBay stuff with the journal bearings, Journal bearings, gotta love them, man. They really don't mind it when you don't have a whole lot of oil sometimes. I blew an oil line on the way from doing a delivery. And, yeah, I had to put like 7 quarts in her to get her back up on full. They had the regular old whole set wastegates, and I cobbled them up into manual wastegates without springs. So that means that they're just shut 100%. And I wouldn't recommend that on any other kind of build unless you have like a huge turbo, like a, I don't know, HX60, something like stupid, or like what I got, 2 HX35s, which is way too much. I'm going to have to go down a little bit to actually bring up my drivability, towability, power, and that's it. She does burn all the fuel, she does make all the boost, and she doesn't get hot. Not like what you would expect with low drive pressure and just dumping fuel in it with a spinning turbo. She spools just only at higher RPMs. It's better for lower, because that's where all the torque is for these little 6.5s. Besides that, she has the AEM methanol injection kit with a variable controller. You can turn it up and down whichever way you want, depending on how your boost hits or how it ends. And I'm running a 250cc jet, but it also came with a 500. Actually, no, I'm running the 500cc jet. I tried the 250, and it also comes with a 1000cc jet. So that's something I need to try out eventually. Maybe when I get better turbos. She got a dual 2.5-inch upper intake, which is what I had to make myself in order to make sure everything fits perfectly, or at least efficiently and good. And as for the exhaust system alone starts off with 3-inch downpipes for clearance issues. Otherwise, I would have done 4-inch downpipes. And it also has 4-inch exhaust brakes, and then that kind of opens up to a 5-inch straight pipe all the way back to the stacks. And it's a true dual setup too. There is no X, there's no H, there's just straight pipes. I don't know, maybe I should change it. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll find out one of these days down the road. It also has the gear reduction starter because it just helps so much when you have low battery life or just something that's in the cold. Like it's been snowing on and off here now. It's supposed to get a dump again tomorrow, and this is actually a good year for once. And it also has the rear coolant crossover, so you don't need any other cooling upgrade. I'm gonna have to make my own video on that there alone about the rear coolant crossover, for the simple fact that it's just the biggest upgrade that you can do for cooling in terms of these 6.5s and 6.2s, for the simple fact that they just get hot. Like, don't even have to be towing. It'd be hauling itself up a hill and it'd be getting hot, which is ridiculous. Besides that. Yeah, she's manual swapped. She was a 4L80E, and I put in the NV4500, and I done the solid flywheel conversion, and this is something that probably no one else has done, but I put a SM465 hydraulic clutch setup in the NV4500. Now I had to kind of modify the I think the slave cylinder, or one or the other, just because it wasn't big enough to mount onto the bell housing, which, because it's metal, I just welded on brackets essentially and some reinforcement so that I have a place for it to bolt onto. And it's, you know, oh Jesus Christ, I got like 20,000 kilometers on it now, and it's mostly been towing and just ripping around and tearing, and it's still holding up. And besides that, there it actually has a steel line for the what do you call it, for the hydraulic hose that carries it over to the master cylinder, or whichever it is. I got backwards, maybe it's not, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, it's all true steel, all metal, so it's not like the new one that I bought purposely for it, and I seen that it was all plastic, and I didn't really like the looks of that, and I seen the line was plastic. Okay, very good. And when I saw the one that I had, it was already broken. It was just chipped at the very tip, so I was just past the O-ring. I was like, okay, well, that's garbage, and I just seen I had that there. I wanted to get the truck on the go, so I put it all together, and it's working fine. And it seems to actually have the hydraulic pressure of like a dump truck. Alrighty. Very lucky that I caught it. The friggin' phone cut off as soon as I mentioned the billet fuel pickup module, so I'll finish that off. She has the billet fuel pickup module by Quadstar, which is practically just garden hose size fittings for all the fuel. And geez, I gotta go look at it. Geez, my memory is just gone. It's all that eggnog, eh? Alright, so she has the 100-gallon per hour lift pump from Carter with the bypass kit, which is the oil pressure switch bypass kit. And that's where all the power for the lift pump originally travels through. And it just can't handle it. And it's a common reason why that there gives out all the time. And she also has the Feed the Beast mod, which is just a fuel filter relocation kit with bigger fittings. So she has all the fuel from the fuel tank to the injection pump, and the limiting factor there is the injection pump. And besides that, she has all the supplementary fuel you can get with a methanol injection kit. She has all the cooling, all the exhaust, all the intake, and she's just missing like 2 things for the motor, which is a billet crank pulley and a fluid dampener. So it's pretty good, I suppose. Alrighty. Oh yeah, and the wheel setup. I mean, she moves pretty good for 35s. There we are. So she's 35 by 12.5 by R18. It rubs big time. It's been taking on that. It's been ripping the friggin' screws out of it. But that's all good. Oh yeah, and she also got Rancho shocks. But that's fuck off. Alright, so that there gauge is for the driver's side turbo. That's boost for the center plenum. That there's EGT for the passenger side. That there's exhaust brake pressure gauges. Exhaust brake switch for the air pump. Puts air inside the lines to close off the valves on the exhaust brakes. And yeah, that's pretty well it in here. Let's go under the hood. Okay, so this is the part I'm going to have to make a video on to save all you guys a bunch of money. So if anyone likes saving money, just friggin' like the video and subscribe, okay? Because I told you so. Is that good enough? Anyway, so obviously here's the two big old dirty turbos that are just too big. I mean, god dang. Anyways, and 4-inch intakes, relocation kit, methanol injection line going down to the corner, the pump's down under the filter. Yeah, what else is there, boys? I mean, not much up here. Dual intake plenum. There's the bolted wastegate. You can't really see the internals of the engine. Maybe be able to see a newer, already rotten looking friggin' injector. Oh my god, that's nuts. Yeah, all that there was fresh painted. That's nuts. Well, I suppose that means I gotta crawl up and under this friggin' thing now. God damn it. So, it wasn't exactly what you would call easy trying to get that friggin' 5-inch straight pipe wiggle its way in around here. You see there's a bit of soot. I mean, all this here shit was like brand new. It's already fucking rusted, man. Hate Newfoundland for that shit. And, yeah, just a couple exhaust hangers just chilling out. There's the lift pump. And like I said, man, that there was like a garden hose size fitting. Like, Jesus. Not rubbing true with it. Nope, man. Alrighty. And, yeah. That is probably... Oh, yeah, that there's a hanger that was supposed to be but never meant. And that was a hanger that was, but just couldn't. Alrighty. And then it goes up around drive shaft, and there is a hanger that did to the body. Anyways, yeah, so it just clears over that there mint, and self-cleared itself there, fucking mint. And then it's kind of just one hanger welded onto the cross member. It's only welded on one side because I hate it. I'm done with welding. Anyways, and going up there. So it's pretty decent. And I suppose you want to see the other side. This here was done when I didn't have a body lift or nothing. So that's how I made clearance. You know, man, it's a fucking 5-inch pipe. You're not going to know no difference with that. And this one here, you had to be butchered. I had to. I got another piece of pipe in there for him. That'll fix that, but... That's why so much soot shoots out from underneath her. And that's one of the exhaust brakes. Ugh. Looks like there's soot all over it. Nice and free. Probably a little bit chafy pooed. She hardly even leaks oil anymore. I mean, it's nuts. That was just because of, like, frost was melting off the motor and all that shit. So I mixed with some fucking oil and dripped. Like, bruh. Yeah, there's the brake line. NV40 SM465 clutching. Not scraping on anything. Gone up right there. You can see the bottom bolt and the hose or the line going into it. Here's a bit of a better look at it. Yeah, that's just for dirt to come in and out as it pleases. You know, I mean, friction disc is just going to keep refreshing itself with little bits of grit. I mean, I got that piece that's supposed to go in here, but yeah, I'll get around to it. It's still mint yet. I mean, like, come on. All that oil is just making sure that everything's preserved. Like, get off me, case. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm done down here. Alrighty, and so, obviously, this is where it comes up from, or to, and this is the same old stacks I always had. Anyone that's ever watched my videos from a couple years ago, you'll notice that some things have changed, and this is not it. Besides for the flaps, makes a fucking racket, but make sure that I don't run it middle of the night and throw some buckets over the bitch, so, yeah. She's obviously not heavy enough to move this here with, like, 3/4 wood in it, so. Done some 4-wheel drive burnouts this morning for the fuck of it, I suppose, when I boiled down to it. Anyways, that's not even everything to do with the actual fucking build. I mean, that's just mainly the motor, drivetrain, shit like that there. You know, I suppose that's the important things, you know, because if you really needed to, and you had another truck, you could take all that shit off and put onto another truck. So that way you can get rid of all this rusty old crud from Newfoundland. But anyways, I suppose that's all, boys, and talk to you next time. See you next time. Whatever.